Hello, my name is Elias Musha, and I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta. Thank you very much for joining me. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to let you share with as many people as possible so that we can have a chat. Okay, we're going to have a chat here. I know that in Chuempala it's about 21:34, so it's pretty late. How is your weekend going? Right? How is your weekend going? If you want to join me, let me just share my link here, just in case you want to come on. Okay, the more flexible we are, the better. Okay, so here it's also Easter, but tomorrow is not a holiday, so we are going back to the office tomorrow. Except that we don't have a holiday on Mondays here. But I know that in Zambia you are going to have a holiday, so keep enjoying, with the long weekend. Some were saying that I shouldn't say it's a long weekend. Apparently, it's wrong to say long weekend because a weekend is only Saturday or Sunday or whatever it is. So apparently, saying long weekend is not grammatically correct. You always learn new things on Facebook. It's like there are always those people on Facebook who want to help you learn a lot more new things. Okay. So happy Easter, everyone. And so thank you very much for joining me. Now we're going to talk about several things, but I want to answer some of the questions that you might have. Let's start from there. But I just have a few observations. Okay, a few observations. Observation number one is the fact that it appears like there is no fuel. There is fuel shortage in Zambia, particularly in the main centers. Lusaka, Kitwe, Ndola, no fuel. Na short fuel. And so it's quite pathetic. Some think that the only thing that we do, particularly as diasporans, like imwewa diaspora, but no. The thing is, all these issues have a cause, right? Very clear cause. Why should we have shortage of fuel for a week? So it's all because of inefficiency in leadership. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there is an alternative. We are not saying this because we have no solutions to the kind of challenges we are facing. No, there is a solution. And it's very easy if there is a leadership at State House. It's pretty easy. Problems. These are not the problems that we should be dealing with. We're dealing with far bigger and more complicated problems. Not more problems of failing to deliver fuel to filling stations, for goodness sake. So that is it. Yeah. Christian Mushoda says, Chuempalaman, welcome. Thank you. Weekend is laka. So have you bought gas? Do you have fuel? Okay. Junior Bali says we are glued, of course. Ayo Utumwemfu. What has Utumwemfu got to do? Come here, Utumwemfu to watch station. Arelo ndolo la tumfwe. Vyepi Barongo. Vyepi. Christian Chisenga, my nephew. How are you doing? How are you doing? I love you to miemfu. Okay. Kamea datu temo to miemfu muevo. Yeah. Fuel queues. It's terrible. Yeah. Yeah, we hope this problem gets resolved as soon as possible. So if you have any questions, please let me know and let's talk about that. So the thing is, the fuel procurement system in Zambia is it's unnecessarily complicated, right? Because the government plays a role in the procurement of fuel. So the government interferes. Fuel doesn't just work with the private sector. No, the government interferes a lot. Yeah. At one point, a few months ago, there was another shortage. because the government has apparently misused the funds that are supposed to be used to procure fuel in Zambia. Yeah. So instead of those funds being used to procure fuel, that money has disappeared. I think probably the government has several other priorities to deal with. Anyway, apart from that, the next one is the new law, the Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act of 2021, Act number 2 of 2021. It is now law. And I'm getting this a lot where people are saying you're going to be charged if you continue speaking out against the leadership. And my question is, under what section of the Cybersecurity and Cybercrime Act would you charge me? If, for example, I say that how is that an offense, right? That's not an offense at all. So it's like everybody now is dreaming into the Cybersecurity Act. What is not in the Cybersecurity Act? So people are so fearful, like they can't even say that thinking that the Cybersecurity Act is going to catch them. No, the Cybersecurity Act is not going to catch you. It does not stop you from criticizing the president. There is no new section in the Cybersecurity Act that stops you from criticizing the president. You know what I mean? So there is nothing new there that says that you can't criticize the president. You can't hold this government accountable. You can't No, that is not the what is happening with the cybersecurity bill. Of course, it has some very controversial things, like they can get your computer or they can get your phone. So they'll get your phone in order to discover that all you are saying is that the president never will take. And then which judge is going to lock you up for saying that the president will take? That is an opinion that you have, If somebody thinks that that somebody can say otherwise, if it's under your opinion, it's okay. So the cybersecurity crime bill does not stop you at all, right? Yeah, maybe that's what they wanted. That's what I was saying the other day. At what is going on at cybersecurity bill nefifi nemofili nefitafilimo balefipanga balerengania basafipanga fe mumutu mwa but obviously nefifi nefitulefuaya nafyo finemofili nefishilimo. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. I don't understand why the president has to intervene in this. The president has to intervene in this because what has happened in Zambia is our PF, they have so pathetically run everything. They failed to run the country such that they think that giving ultimatums is governing. So so he's just giving ultimatums. I direct that drivers deliver fuel. Since when? How can you, as president, just direct that I'm directing the drivers to deliver fuel? It does not work like that. You solve problems. That's why you are president. Who solve our problems? Amafianga is our solver. Eguteka. Oguteka mweba nandi. Tekumoneka fiwino. Wafuala suti. Slim fitting suit. Ero yowamona tikuteka. No. It's solving problems, and you don't solve problems by just giving ultimatums that let people deliver fuel. It does not work like that. What is the problem? What is the problem with the fuel procurement system in our country? Too many middlemen, government intervention and government involvement. Here, no one can procure fuel freely in Zambia unless they pass through the government. The funding is through the government, which has given a letter of credit to banks. So what is happening is when the money goes into the government, because the government is already broke, you know what happens to that money? Chiradumbuira, chialuba, bashota. So tabako etempiesha kwa tibadipide the suppliers. And so that is the problem that is happening in the oil procurement industry. How do you resolve it? No. You get government out. Imo as a government, you're just setting the policy. You get yourself out. when I was in Zambia in November, December, what the government said was there will be no VAT. That did not solve any problem. They removed several other excise duties and importation duties on fuel. It did not solve the problem. Why didn't it solve the problem? Because the problem is with government interference in oil marketing and oil procurement. That's the problem. And we don't think that the PF government is going to stop with this senseless way of governing where you want to have government involved in each and every sector of the economy. It's not going to work. It has never worked, right? So that's exactly what is happening as far as fuel is concerned. Edwin Soko ifitenge. Yeah, how mwandi. Ala mwabagantu mufitenge mwe. You know, mwabagantu. You look like Ara Kelly. Yeah, awe kwena mwandi. Mwila mpalani na Ara Kelly. Ara Kelly is a criminal. Nemulanda. Yeah. Mwansa Mlenga, Given Anderson. How are you doing? How we are doing fine. I am fine. And how are you? Yeah. We have ministers who deal with us. Why give a report to the president so that what? Where are the ministers? That's the thing, right? Because there is no clue. You see, when I say that Kulifirubene in State House, I'm saying it with a lot of humility. Ninji chefia sana. And the reason is, you are seeing the problem. Not only are you seeing the problem, but you are experiencing this problem. These problems are not just being made from somewhere else. You know, they are as a direct result of the policies of the Patriotic Front currently. They are the direct consequences of the leadership of President Lungu. It is President Lungu's leadership that is responsible for the current economic confusion in Zambia. Mama, it's not just happening at Fiachitika Fie, Mumwera, Fiaisa Fie, at Fishire no Mwera. No. Somebody is making policies that are dumbwisheling Zambia. Ide dumbwira Zambia, dumbwira, economy de dumbwira. Daire dumbwira Fie yo. Why? Because tabako itama plan. So number ni kudumbwira. Zambia, the economy ile dumbwira, okudumbwira. And the reason why ile dumbwira is because of the nature of the leadership. It's a leadership problem. That's exactly what is happening. So we can't pretend to go know that we shive. At least we are agreed to go tifintu umutengo. You know, just tifye, yeka tifye, tetunwe, umutengo, one. Ubunga, umutengo, cement, umutengo, salad, umutengo, salt, sugar, just basic necessities to sustain lives. It is expensive. Now, when you ask Ukwebate, how do we solve this problem? What is President Lungu's answer? Baleson tabambi. Bale kanoko bat yote ine teifwe yo. Niba government of teine. At who is responsible at niba dia? Somebody else. Prices of cement, he says that it is cement companies that is blaming. Now, they are going to run out of people to blame. Cooking oil, they are saying the same thing. It is cooking oil manufacturers, or there is a certain cartel that is responsible for manipulating the prices of cooking oil. Fiance, they are accusing others of causing it. But the issue is very simple. It is the Patriotic Front government that has failed to govern. They are the ones that are responsible for the kind of economic confusion. That is the thing. If into fire dula shani, leadership. If into fire shota shani, leadership. What is leadership? No economic vision. Nothing. Everything. And when we are saying this, it's not because that we are trying to be mischievous or miscellaneous. Clear definition at miscellaneous, you know. So what is the cause? It's a very clear cause, and resolving it is very simple. It has a history. Now, instead of even making some emergency common sense decisions to try and salvage the little that we have left in the economy, the Patriotic Front continues to dig deeper in the hole. That's exactly what is happening. Inflation, 22% inflation. It means you're going to continue impoverishing impoverishing workers because you are not paying workers. You know, you're not comparing the pay with what is going on with prices. Prices are rising higher while the pay is remaining very low. And what happens when that happens? People begin suffering. That's exactly what is happening. Solutions, common sense solutions, they're there, but they don't want to do it. All right? What are some of these solutions? I always talk about them. I call it the Chiwempala plan. The reason why I call it the Chiwempala plan is because I want to relate it to where I grew up in Chiwempala as a teenager, in Chingola, where I was born and where I grew up in Chingola. The reason why I call it the Chiwempala plan is because I want to associate it with that, okay? What are the emergency things that this government needs to do? First of all, they need to begin sending consistent economic messages. It's known as messaging. Much of our economy is dependent on on the sentiments that are being said. Not sentiments that are being said by Facebook commentators like me, because this government is also blaming me, you know. At Facebook, so because you are at Facebook, no. When we say sentiments, economic sentiments, we mean what is coming from the president. If you can take those are the things that set the economy, okay? So what is the president saying? For example, as far as foreign direct investment, the president has not been helping foreign direct investment. You know, but if as long as something comes on the mouth of our leader and his friends, they say it. And so there is no confidence in foreign direct investment, very little confidence in foreign direct investment, and very little confidence by the institutions that we want to go and borrow a little bit more so that we can get out of this confusion. The IMF. In the 2014-2015, akaende hichilema adi beba balungu. Mu 2015 and 2016, sorry. Okay, but you need to quickly set your house in order so that if fiscal home, let's create by this ambitious, unprecedented so-called infrastructure development, mule Kongo la Kalova, Ikalova ikatwingisha in a lot of problems in a few years. And what did they say? At no, not we should to register. Who is IMF to us? Who is IMF to us? Balungu. Do you remember that? He said, who is IMF? In fact, the IMF, we begin having homosexuals in our country. So who is IMF? We are okay. Are you sure? And then from 2015, 2016, he went on a shopping spree for airplanes in Bekeshago, Ishamanone. You are broke as a country. What message are you sending? Instead of concentrating on ensuring that mwachitako level ground if more, and you call it a matter of national security. What does a Gulf Stream, 50 million, or is it 100 million or $200 million jet got to do with national security? Nothing. When you are doing that, you are sending a message to the economy as a president to cover that your priorities are not on controlling the economy. Your priorities are on your amanone. That is the issue there. What happened with KCM? It's the same thing. At we are going to grab KCM from whatever it is, that company, the Denta. And then we have Bwandaika Fiat KCM. There is confusion. Even to debt, confusion at KCM. That is a message you are sending to the economy. That is a message you are sending to people that you need to be discussing issues with. The other thing is the debt. There is nobody knows in Zambia how much we are owing. The World Bank at least tells us it's $27 billion. The government says it's $13 billion, but between $17 billion and $27 billion, there is no difference. It's a very huge debt. And if you have so much debt, what it means is ngamwapanga your budget every year. A huge chunk of your budget is going to be assigned to paying interest on the debt that you have. So number IMF is there. Barebe pishati tueveni sokolo leni fiance nishinga. How much are you owing the Chinese? But if you Wokulanda, and that is one of the reasons why there is an impasse in discussions with the IMF, because this government is not willing Wokulanda shinga. This is not complicated. Mamona. Economics tayaba too complicated that you mkwai kuvula ma theories ayashupa. No, it's very simple. Common sense. Ngamwa Congo lempia kuma Chinese. Ebeni abeka la chalo how much you are owing. Na ba IMF mubebe how much you are owing. Pako wati tuishibe. Not to umfuira fe ku World Bank. World Bank aid to ever our country is owing $27 billion. How are we going to get out of this hole? You know? And now what is the response to all this confusion? What is the president doing? What are the policies that they are setting in place? You know, what are the policies that they're setting in place? They get another huge chunk of money, and then Bambo Kwabanya at its empowerment. Bambo Kwabanya Kubanabo. That is the empowerment. Empowerment that is not connected to any visible raise in productivity. To show about Facebook artists, and yet a Facebook artist had 300,000 million, 300, is it 300,000 kwacha? At empowerment, 300,000 to a Facebook artist. So no plan. I'm a churches that navena bala bapera kwenshi bala bapera koka no. I'm okay. In a reverend, I believe that tupera ko fue filongani no, particularly ba pente, you know, pantu to adichula sana. And we as Pentecostals, we need some money. Okay? So I'm okay with that. Number imichitirefe barechitefe akobati amba kokufolesha impia at a time such as this one when they know there are elections and it's not connected to any productivity. That is where the issue is. How come you have so much money to give us churches, but you are raising prices for all these user fees, right? User fees, the prices are going up. Ba Catholic, ba bishop, ba Catholica, ba Roma, kuchipata, abati. You are going to raise permits for missionaries, from 3,000 to 22,000. That's what the bishop of Catholics is saying in Chipata, Bishop Lungu. And then you turn back and say that you want to empower the church with cash. Does that make sense? It doesn't. So it's simple. Vafiruwa kuteke echalo. Mwamona vafiruwa kuteke echalo. Nomba apo vafiruwa kuteke echalo vatampo kusabaira. Epera na vafiruwa. Mwamona. Ala mwebena Zambia. Shikamikata na kumutimati yo mkwa itu wafumiapo muntu. Tewaka ero yu muntu. Resari mupera chansa atiteka konobe. No mainse diaku teka guino. Alefi bwandaika fie. Ale teka ifya dongo. Ama dongoli. Ego teka oko. Mama. Malanje bati yo taulanda guino. Nomba kanji kulanda shani. Nomba obubu teko. Tulandi atishana. Tupulifye guino. Imitengo. Inflation. Kwacha. No employment, lack of employment, no employment. That's so very employment. Moyabulo tusaka tuandalama. Molesta distribute at employment. How does that become employment? Mpia shafintu mwadi kula finto ma airport. Zambia right now bakula 3 airports. Billions of dollars borrowed from China. Lusaka, Livingston, Nakundola. So you ask, if you as a country you are in debt, why would you borrow billions to build airports? Ukushabendeke. Why would you because kareke airport palusaka kadi fye bwino abantu baleiza n'okufuma balefuma. So why would you go borrow billions? Like enimiebe kulusaka. They borrowed billions. Impia shachepa shabudila. Bapanga original plan shabudile mpia. Katushuko shairenga nikuisa batuwebeko. Pantonga naranda tiyo badiba. Some of you, my friends, mula you insult me at yo teturanda. Okay, shadi bulira. Shaide kui. Afterwards, Eronubabasa chinjama specifications, and they built a smaller version of what they wanted to do. Na pope ene futi shabudira. Na lerodi necho tawai suira ide airport nicho okupusha ide airport church shadi bulira. So you begin asking yourself very simple questions. What is going on? How are you mule teka jani if you have teka tamule teka we know yo. That is the problem. It's not enough at more to build infrastructure. Look, if you borrow so much money and build so much infrastructure, every piece of infrastructure you build will require continuing spending to keep that infrastructure intact. So you build 3 international airports, you raise it up, you borrow a lot of billions, much to build ama airports. Now, for those airports to be sustained, you still require more money. So there will be no more traffic because you have built a bigger airport. So your traffic is likely to remain the same, which means instead of the money that is right now that the airports are raising, sustaining bigger airports, it's not, because it's not enough, which means government somehow must find money to continue operating and maintaining this infrastructure. You're already broke. So what you think is an asset, in the short term, it's not actually an asset. It's a liability, because you will continue having to borrow in order to maintain that liability. It is not going to make money on its own. What would have happened, for example, if you did a little bit of discipline? You look at 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years. You say, we are going to keep the airport as it is. We are not going to borrow any billions. We are going to continue raising money through the taxes that we are receiving from the airport. And that money is going to be helping with our budget. You continue with your budget. That makes far much more sense than you borrow, you build airports, and then it does not end there. There is interest that you'll be paying on that borrowed caliber, but you are also going to begin looking for more money to maintain this infrastructure, the money that you do not have. So what happens to your budget? Almost half of your budget goes to what exactly? Paying off caliber, one. Secondly, it goes off to maintaining the same infrastructure that you have built. That is not how you govern. That is not common sense way to provide leadership to a country, right? And so that's why we are saying that there is an alternative here. It's not like no, there is an alternative way to do it, right? I just to let you know that cyber bill should be well explained. The cyber bill does not create any new dramatic crimes. You know what I mean? You know, there's 1 or 2 things if it's controversial, but it does not create any new confusing crimes if you cover that you can't call the president that vafi wokuteka. Ara omuntu nganafi wokuteka nishinafi wokuteka. Tabare teka bwino yo if you dongo. Yeah. So that is a little bit about that. The next thing, now we are done with talking about the economic thing that is happening in Zambia, and I hope that Mwevena Zambia, if this thing is in your hands, if in August nishi it is you, nishi ni momo asala. It is because momo asala tiyo bateke. Otherwise, they will continue with the same kind of confusion, you know, no economic vision, nothing. No kuchita blame bambi. Ateva rengere. And investing in things if shile pangana mano, you know. Let's talk about a flyover. We got to fly over bridges. If my bridges bapangire mulusaka, and it will reduce congestion. Of course, we borrowed some more money, and India gave us some grants to build. If you remember very well, the drawings that they released of those IFMA structures, you remember the drawings? Do you remember how they were going to be structured? What happened? Shadi budila. Ero nomba baya chitafishani baya panga fi baya bumba fi ya kubumba bumba. Ero bamyebo kobati, this is infrastructure investment. No kufikopa. They send drones in the air. Ero chaya kopa the bridge. No which distributes and by the president that we have done a lot. We have built infrastructure in Lusaka. You know, ama plans, original plans aya dipo shabudira. No, but shabudira shan. How come? How can you be leading a country agwat yonse fide budira? You know, fide budira nishi impie shide ya kuisa. Indians said bala tupera akanono na tuakongwera pona shimbi at to reduce congestion in Lusaka. Original plans ayo mwakwete fia pena. It does not work. Number ero mwaya lete vintu mwaya bumba fie vintu. And then what happens? Traffic is still the same, if not worse. Now, because of lack of coordination, number nama robot pamaranda ponse babikapo, because it's very pathetic. Now, tatule landa fiati yo because we want to condemn. No, we are even giving solutions. What are the solutions? Aye nindondorora chwempala plan ni milondorera bwino. If you twinga chinjo ko bati fintu fyambo kubomba ko bwino. There is a plan. There is an alternative. Iria fatalism ya ko bati no, this is over if twakulaikala. No, tefyo twakulaikala yo. When there is an alternative, that's why we are a democracy, and that's why we go to elections every 5 years. Kweba tumuntu ngateka amano ya perera. Mama, akongole fintula amano ya perera. How to resolve that problem? Kubika po umbi. Tevyo vile. Kubika po umbi. That's how we need to do. Ati muli achani ati muli cybercrime na bakanye miponto kwi. What section of the there is nothing like that in the new cybercrime bill. Imiponto nkwisa bakanye in cybercrime bill. Section what? No. If you do something that causes emotional distress on someone, that you can be liable. Number ngole teka elo you are emotionally distressed mlandu wako batu muntu wako batu taure teka bwino nishi you are not ready kanshi you can't rule chalo, you know. Emotional distress. Yeah. Building a massive airport. Hey, ati ringa nena kuno kuba sungu. Fueva bemba, fueva ushi. Twalikwata saying ya kweva tekwesho kulingania ama PULI. Tekwesho kulingania yo. Ati bantu abasungu balikwata chichi airport. Na ifwebe ene kanshi tuye tukongole. Tuchiteshani tukule ukulingania ama PULI. Wafia. You don't do that. Ngachakutira kanono. You know, ka economy kobe kanono. Teku ibika pono biat no beka kulu. No. You become a government of bolingo. Solo la bien. If you chile moneka shani, chilowe. If you vintu fire moneka fie, you know, you become a government of very trivial things. If you apamuru. You know, no integrity, no strength. Atinde moneka shani kind of government. Kwati muntu wako bataku koru chelo. Afu wala suit. Erwaya mkuipisha abantu ati ushende moneka shani kind of government. When you are a government, kuipima okupima ubunga na mesh. Okupima ubunga na mesh. Waipima ngale, bakwethu nangu lefu ayagero tali kuipima wamona first bushe ifi kuti fyakwana pantu mukashana kuti aisa kulolesha fe one eye evere mule ipima mwapima ubungana mesh. We have so much wisdom from Luapula, a lot of wisdom. So nombate kuyevye mkukula tiyo because abena abasungu bali kule fya kukula ne fotukule. If you have 6 airplanes coming, no, what you do is shidiempia mwari no kukongola. It was going to be a liability for you for 50 years to come. What you do is kuwamya fyako keneka airport mwako ataka nono okukawamya bwino sana kukachita update shani akokene mwako ata and when you do that take over nish mwashadira it's wisdom. First of all, you make sure that you bring your attention to things that produce. If you are productive, you stop corruption, you stop theft, you stop mismanagement, you arrest inflation, you direct, you attract foreign direct investment. Those are things, not mwaya kongole ati mukule ngefi ya baba sungu. Mwiralingania ifinto. And never to the common sense solutions to our problems. Not a government of Bolingo, government of Undemoneka Shani. Na bantu ature moneka bwino government of Facebook. Mula tuseka ati if we are Facebook share. No, but even the government itself, it's a government of Facebook. Government of Snapchat and Instagram. Okutemwa sana okukopa ama picture. Ero mwa posta ati yo, this is the good thing we are doing. Kanshi, there is no foundation at all. Nothing. What we are asking is that there is a way to govern Zambia. And there is a better way, common sense way to govern that nation. Not if you matongo tongo. Yo. Chivemba imwe. Today is Resurrection Sunday. Chivemba nganaranda kumwiralinganya ama PULI. Chivemba nomba kanshi tuleke okulanda ensosero shakwesu. Tuleke ukulinganie fifi it leads into serious problems. That's why when you are a country kuba steady ukushipa. That's what we mean when we say ukushipa. What do you think we mean? Kuba steady. You are ukushipa. How are you going to govern this country? Tekula chitafi chite no kukopera ifile chitaba neba bantu ba neba bakule china iwokule. No, be steady. Invest in things that are going to help your country get out of debt. No, but we have gone back to the same old things. Competing with neighbors at the airport imoneka shane. Don't follow what people say. Dionse tulalandapo ulungumbwa. At no, because OR Tambo International Airport, it looks very nice. We are going to build not 1, but 2, 3 very wonderful airports. Of course, when I come Kabomshi Finefma airports, no kumfoguino sana. Nambo kumfoguino is not a plan. Bolingo. You see, feelings are not, they're not permanent. It's not the na government take on the basis of no. Kuba steady. Like Mwanawasa and Ngandu Magande. We need to be very grateful to that kind of Karaka transition Kabena Mwanawasa. Because Varisa Chinje Chalomwe, they stopped unnecessary spending. 1. 2, but they managed at least to have a little bit of trust from the international multilateral partners. Jubilee campaign filefine we guilted abasungu batwerera $6 billion in debt. $6 billion in debt. Inkongole shoto wakongwere. Batwerera $6 billion. We began making some changes until number bwafya sana basa isapu Until basa Africa abanyoli. Abanyoli basa Africa po. Ero nomba wafya sana. Fia pena. From 2011. Yeah. We all know the best solution this time, but my interest is on those books behind you. Send some, please, na papata. But you want them. What fields are they? No, I think we need to send some books to Zambia. Each time that I come to Zambia, I do come with books, and even from my last trip 3 months ago, I still have books that have not yet distributed. You know, so we're going to see, but it really depends on what field, you know. Yeah, but yes, I do regard books a lot. Na riberenga komwe. But no, not sana. Just if you size fie. Na riberenga ko fie size. Yeah. Ama none. Bakweti you mean ukulinganya ama chibemba nechaushi ninsosero shakwesu. It's our sayings, it's our customs. Pando tamumfwa. When somebody is explaining to you these things, tamumfwa, you know. But now, when we use our traditional sayings, that's when it clicks. But gosh, it's true. You know, we have so much wisdom in our customs of how to grow our economy, how to provide leadership. We have so much of it. That's what brought Namsonda in confusion. Ambo kukumbwa inamapari neba. Evere na ineka no fiendie na ma. Aima Namsonda, aya kubucha. Atina walie kwena ma, ngefe baneba. Aumfuifu na ma, shirenu nkira pari baneba. That's exactly what is happening. Why are you building these airports in Deke 6 land? At yo. Tulevuoku wako ngaba zungu. Abe nabazungu tabasakamana. Ngabachitaland nangu fieni it's Africa already. So tabasakamana mama. Nangu ama Chinese. Boshabala sakamana ama Chinese. Amana Chinese batampire pokukula ifya kukula. Batampire pokuchita set fundamentals of the economy in place. Go find out how they did it. After that, attract foreign direct investment, but the discipline in terms of corruption. Because with China, corruption, you are dead. Oku China. Awabe netu ya komu Kongola. Awamfoviati corruption, dead. Death sentence. That's how they started. Nomba ifwe, wakabuwa lala, ebo tuya mugushiani na. Atumwefi ya umeise, ifi ya bufi. Efe tuya mugushiani na, tuwechi ya bufi isa. Ngachako kolo kuisa mkutubepa. Mwachitumina na abantu ajisa, so isaini mutubepe. Tata pako kolapo mwaishire, aleni isaini mutubepe ko panono. Yeah, alabo afya sana. Nyoli. Yeah. Government of Bolingo. What I mean by government of Bolingo is this government here, instead of dealing with fundamentals, they're dealing with with cosmetics, feelings. If you feel umfuika, you know. For example, in Lusaka, they borrow billions to control traffic, but they just build things. If you should external control traffic, that's what I mean when I say government of Bolingo. Government of Solola bien. I don't know what are the new phrases right now that are going on, but that's fiakare, Bolingo and Solola bien, fiakare. But that's exactly what this government is. Fire Monica bueno, bling bling. Atina Monica shani. That is exactly what they are doing. Is there a solution? Yes, there is. There is a clear solution. What is the clear solution? Steady leadership, steady president, steady political party, steady cabinet, steady people who na beshiwe barechta, not each pante fie. If you balo tabachita, you can't rule a country like that. If you take a chalo yo. Hmm? Atina msonda haya kubucha. Anyway, so I posted about which part of the body is responsible for most problems, you know? And I think that the part of the body that is really responsible for most problems are the hands, amaboko. You see, amaboko have led into serious issues, amaboko. That's why if you need to get rid of a part of your body, yari kushupa sana amaboko. Because they are to even the viruses, they are spread by amaboko. Or you get rid of all the germs. The hands are the most difficult part. Some are saying, no, it's the brain. You see, the brain is just in your head. The brain is just with you. So if the brain is about to do damage, it will just damage you. The problem is the tool that the brain uses to confuse everything, it's the hands. If you ale minwe shishabo afia iminwe hands, they are pretty much a problem. So if you have to pray that the Lord God please control me, I think the Lord should hold your hands. We, the Homo sapiens, one of the most critical things, I think the biggest blessing that Homo sapiens have, it's the brain, but also it's the ability to manipulate things with our hands. Our hands, right? Because these hands can make us make tools and everything. That is what distinguishes Homo sapiens from other animals, the brain and particularly the hands, the ability to make tools and create fire, right? And that's why we are different from animals, right? Because animals find it very difficult to manipulate their environment, with their bodies. They find it very difficult. If we're very easy, the hands. But these are the hands that are responsible for most. What do you think about the hands? We have very few minutes now, okay? So this is a topic for public interest. What do you think we should do with the hands? Am I going to contest Chembe? No, I'm not going to contest in Chembe. Yeah. But if I were to contest anywhere, I would pass through Chembe. You see? I would pass through Mansa, Chembe, and Milenge, and Lunga. That is where our ancestral home is. So, Ekoninga ya ngale, naya tandala, kumfu mushesu. No, I'm not going to stand in Chembe or Milenge or Mansa, no. But if I were to stand anywhere, I would go first of all to Chembe. Nako Milenge. And of course, I will make sure that I avoid Ifyawi Ikata, Ifyawi Ikata, no. We have here for blessings from our ancestral, from our ancestors. Aba wike from Luba Lunda kingdom. Kwa matanda. So mvile na ya kwa matanda. Na ya tanda lako. Ero nomba ningachita stand anyway. Tinje fe mkuimini na anyway mpulwa. No. But no matter how much ideas you have about how the economy needs to transform, ngatawire kwa matanda nishi fintu fya pena. To see where the ancestors crossed. Chiluba in 1991, when he wanted to govern, I registered announce kumansa mwego, kumansa. Ego Chiluba I registered announce at Narai Minina. In Mansa. So, if I want to stand anywhere, ngare kuya face kuchembe, kumansa, kumirenge, ero number nachta announce if I want to run anywhere. Okay, but I'm not running in Chembe at all. So once mwewe na Chembe, it's okay. But ngamwanji toko bat munshaisa ku Chembe, nkesa kange nkwesu. Nga chinchite njishite. Na kumansa. Glenda says, blame the brain. That's where everything starts. Before the hand touches anything, the brain should send a message. You can live without hands, but you can't live without a brain. I think so, right? But it's not about living. You say living is not what gives us problems, about Glenda. Because living doesn't give us problems. So the brain can exist, because if the brain is existing, as a human being, quite all right. But it's the hands that lead us into all sorts of issues. Because it's like the hand is the gateway. Fiance, if you now quite all right. But for you to be able to manipulate the environment, you need hands. It's the hands. The legs can take you there, but the hands are the ones that pick up things. That's why even traditionally, it's the hands. What do you think? Because brain because brain can imagine whatever it needs to imagine, but unless it instructs the hands to say aleni nomba mweminwe mwemaboko ndeterenifi, because even eating, we use our hands to eat. We use hands that if you that we use hands. Even there and it's the hands that are the biggest problem. And even spreading diseases. Diseases that are being spread by the tongue. Very few diseases are spread by the tongue. No, how many viruses and bacteria are spread by the hands? So many. Everywhere you go, even this coronavirus, it's not in the brain. Otherwise, corona no matter how fertile your imagination is, imagination. Nombo wafya guisa ponga tuwaya in the environment. Nombo kuya muku kumia finto. Those are the things if you are responsible for diseases. What do you think, Glenda? Yeah, and it's the hands. Maybe Singosa agrees. You just like the way I analyze things, Neminwe, amaboko. Yeah. What of insulting? You don't use the hands, but it will lead you into problems. Instead it can lead them into problems. So you think that it's akanwa? Yeah. So you think akanwa is the biggest problem? That could be true, akanwa. But I think it's the hands, man. Because physically, akanwa at least, restrain akanwa, so that the hands wafia, because the hands want physical touch. They want to touch if the hands. That's in Mfyom Bonawat, it's the hands, man. Very problematic. And HIV is not spread by the hands. Do you agree that the hand is completely innocent with AIDS? Do you think the hands are completely? That it's the hands primarily. Paramike fintu, no kutalushe fintu. Everything, it's the hands. Mambo amaboko erenga na HIV AIDS ne maboko yareta. No, tuma viruses or tuma bacteria tumo, it's the hands. But without the hands, the more you na AIDS that you worry ngata wete. Nombo bofe wako bati amaboko mwevo amaboko. Eya palamike fintu. Nefyo taulefwa iboku palamika amaboko ayo yambo palamika. So I think it's the hands. So is my theory too. Yeah, I think no to men so can be a problem if you kumbwa. Okay, but ngawakumbwa, that it ends there. When your eyes see things, that in is chapwa. What else can they? I mean, so tired, yeah. No matter what the eyes yakumbwa, it ends there. What else can the eyes do? Just in Chimbule. What else can the eyes do? Yamonafi. Very innocently. Yale monafia. No mbovu afia bwati. The hands. The hands are a problem, big problem. pantu amenzo ene yamona amaboko ati ati kekatepo kanofye yekatepo amaboko yekatepo ero nomba yachinengishe even in Resurrection Sunday if child Thomas ukukana sana evere me it's not enough that I see I want to touch no kuchonkola mo nchonkola ero na la sumina you see that's what happened. What do you think? Thomas, today on Resurrection Sunday, it's not enough. Because you can be showing me if into, if you should be real. I want to touch. So kanshi amaboko muya chiteshani muchepuleko vitendeni. Yeah. The mouth can be controlled. Yeah, it's true. I think I agree. The mouth can be controlled. But the issue is the hands can't be controlled. Someone's bums were painted. 1 hour later, the same paint was found on the face. How did the paint get to the face if not the hands carrying? Okay. That's science, ain't? Yeah, I think that's an experiment, how it's true. I think Ewafia Wamaboko, because they spread Fisuma, the hands. But they also spread Ifyashupa, the hands. And they lead you to, and it's both the hands and the eyes. Mwiraya bepesha amenso tayadia. Ni mwamudia. Amenso ayene, they are very innocent. Yamonafi. Epela. I have joined late. Doesn't Tewewe understand what it means to be? Please, this man playing. No. Awe, shiranda pali bantewewe. Tantu, inefena chita bantewe, na liba sula. Bantewewe, na liba bula, na babika mungu ngulu. Na kupika napo. Na bula na lead, na chita shani. Na kupika po. So, nshiranda na ba... I'm quite well-hearted. Nomba kwali bafe bamwe abakoba nali babula nababika mungu ngulu nakupika napo. So I have nothing to do with that gentleman. Nga malaria okay, I think malaria the hands have nothing to do with malaria it's true. I agree with you. Our body works as a whole. Those hands would not touch without the eyes seeing and legs moving to the body. At Bombera in coordination. But of course, Namfire Bombera in coordination. You see, there is at least everyone has its own function. Eyes, for example, they can't reach out. No matter how much sweet you like Mushoprite, I mean, so tetiekate, tayaria. Because it's just the eyes. So nombaganshama eyes, yeah, they were very innocent. I can't, when the eyes send the message, nombakuma bokwati, mpaka fie, the hands. Okay. Thomas naena everi ati kanofie njikate. It's true. Kanofie njikate. Anyway, iwe Cassius Junior Mumbabali. That's why it's very important. The hands. Amasha yaba kuboko. Not umusana yo. Kuboko. Masha yaba kuboko. It's very important. The hands. Now, if you the hands. Without the hands. Very important. Very important. Hands are important, but also they are quite a problem. Okay? Yeah. Nalibabika kuwaya. Kwena mwandi neneba yabantu nalibabika kuwaya. Ero nababika na ngulu na kupika napo. Okay, nalibabula nababika ngulu na kupika po. Ero nabatwala kuwaya. Such that it's very difficult ukufumako. Yeah, efinached. Yeah. And the hands are pretty difficult. That's why I putula kale. Now Monday. Anyway, that's the spiel about the hands. We are now at the 1 hour thing. I think we must go now. 1 hour to leranda fie. Ero now this is very late. Abantu bafire basenda mebalale. You know, but to shake or iminwesh to shake or if you go if you ikata iminwe the whole day it was just eating shanja iminwesh ikata again abantu batushe. Ben Musonda pakafye yatoni amaboko. Yeah, it's very pathetic. In pakafye. That's why in the first education abana, because my teenagers na vevero kwebata iminwe mube na shokef. Tekuye vimu kumia vintu mure kumia fye imoy baka dodi. Don't do that. Kana omuntu akusuminisha not wathi mukumya omuntu lekumya omuntu nevya kwikata no, that's the first thing I told them wakadodi. Okay, thank you very much for joining me today. God bless you and God bless our country. Thank you.